Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Javon Keys. The Bank of Jamaica estimates that inflation will likely fall outside of its 4 to 6% target range over the next year. The Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee says for much of the period between December 2023 and March 2025, yes, you heard right, inflation could fall outside of that range. Now, this would be primarily due to the continued impact of the increases in select public passenger vehicle fares, and annual inflation as at November was outside the target range at 6.3%. This was driven by an increase in some bus fares and higher domestic agricultural prices. Now, the medium-term inflation forecast is also linked to higher than projected future wage adjustments in the context of the tight domestic labor market and increases granted by the government of Jamaica. The committee says deterioration in supply chain conditions could also influence higher inflation. It says, however, inflation could be lower if oil and grain prices trend well below the forecast. Other downside risks include weaker than expected global growth, which could have a stronger than projected downward pull on domestic demand and imported inflation. Some news overseas. Angola is leaving the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The Angolan oil minister said earlier today that the membership is not serving the country's interests. The southern African country, which joined OPEC in 2007, produces about 1.1 million barrels of oil per day compared to the 28 million barrels per day for the whole group. Now, Angola's exit is a setback for OPEC and its allies, just as the group known as OPEC Plus tries to get members to cut output in order to support prices as they're looking to set their outlook. It joins other mid-sized producers, Ecuador and Qatar, that have left OPEC in the last decade. Now back home, the US dollar is being sold for an average $155.38. $116.28 is the going rate for the Canadian dollar. The average cost for the pound is $196.45, while the euro is selling for $173.14. And to the stock market, the JSE index gained 723 points today, while the junior market index lost 19 points. Among the 33 winners were AMG Packaging and Paper Company, iCreate, Trans-Jamaican Highway US dollar shares, or parent company Radio Jamaica and Consolidated Bakeries Jamaica. Now, the 32 losers included Iron Rock Insurance Company, Medical Disposables and Supplies, G West Corporation, One Great Studio, and Key Insurance. 32 stocks closed the session at the same price they started trading on Thursday. And that is it for the Business Day. I'm Javon Keys. Good evening.